I love working with agriculture because it's given me so many good analogies and so much good crossover between business, other systems, and agriculture, which is extremely complex system. One of the things that jumps out at me is I have this book, When Weeds Talk, and I just started connecting dots, and I'm like, maybe this will make sense to somebody else too. So weeds weeds disrupt crops by either not letting a seed germinate and grow, or just sucks away nutrients. And what are the weeds in your business? To me, and you can answer this question yourself, to me, weeds in a business are things that are drawing resources away or killing good seeds before they have a chance to germinate and ultimately sprout, right? Um, Resource misallocation, etc. And it's so true. I mean, the Bible we have here, the Bible goes over so many places, and makes that same kind of comparison in a spiritual sense. You can apply this spiritually as well, absolutely. And in this book, there's about, let's see, uh, 80, 90 pages of two sides of the chart. So there are so many types of weeds that happen, and they happen in different environments. And so there's a whole page on the other side that goes through all other macro and micronutrients, we call them, right? Like nitrogen fertilizer is a macro, and then calcium, magnesium, zinc, iron, those are micros, right? And weeds are able to thrive in certain environments. And so this is so cool. So one thing that's true in business and it's true in agriculture is, based on the kind of weeds, kind of problems you're having, there is a code of they are significantly more likely to take root and thrive in certain environments with certain deficits or excesses of anything. An example of that, and we're going to get into that in a second, actually. So I'm going to go forward and then I'm going to come back. So this talks about fertility management a little bit. Fertility management is, okay, your business requires resources to grow, and depending on what you do, right? So a plant can take a certain amount of nitrogen fertilizer, let's say, and it has a diminishing return of how effective it is at using that resource. We're going to just use resource. And so if you over apply that resource, then it gets stuck in the system, in the soil, or in the business, and other things will start eating it. Okay. So then you have other problems that are created, like weeds, but it gets even deeper than that, that are created from saying, oh, I can do more revenue, and instead of tightening the ship and the efficiency of the system, you just over apply, say, dollar bills or resources. Well, that creates a whole array of issues, including parasites, including weeds. It messes up your culture, and I'll liken culture to your soil biology, which creates an effective circulation of nutrients, which get to the end plant and yield of the plant, the business. And so you continually, each year, it gets continually worse if you're managing it. Let's just isolate the nutrients and the resources. And unless you know how to you have to complete the whole system. So if your business is broken, if your soil is broken, you need to manage and address all of these elements systemically. Otherwise, you will leave a gap open. Okay. And so the takeaway is there's these excess and this deficit in your business, and that's causing a certain manifestation of these issues, and they have a name to them, right? It's a weed, uh, and and that gives a little more tailored playbook to how you would address that and control that in the future. But soil health is a long haul repair. Soil health takes minimum 3 years to repair. It's not overnight. Okay. So, well, you know, I know we got issues. Everybody's got issues, but we carry on. In agriculture, that's called addressing it with chemical farming. Okay. So here's some research on chemical farming. Um, and ultimately that comes into your food. And we could get so far into public health crisis that you know regenerative agriculture seeks to solve. But but we apply costly chemicals, whether that be management consultants are really expensive. Some consultants are good. Some of them are just this expensive quick fix, this expensive program, this expensive employee, right? That might be a little bit toxic, but they can sell, right? There are so many ways you can look at this. It's chemically addressing your problem, not addressing it at the healthy root of it, if you will. And this just continues to layer on the call it the virtue of this analogy is that the best time to address weed control is at its inception, when before the seed germinates, right? And so so you want to address it early before it takes root, and that's going to solve so many of your issues. I think it's too cool and too similar not to call out. Soil health, I'll say, takes 3 years minimum, and all of the stops. And there are a lot of different facets to soil health. And hey, I've done this program and that program. I've done this sales training. I've done X, Y, Z, B, D. I hired a CFO. Even like love CFOs. It's a great thing. But the thing is, and that's why this is Wartime CEO, is it's about uniting and harmonizing all of those modalities within your business, and that is going to bring together a balanced culture where it's fertile soil, where we're feeding it the right nutrients at the right time. We're not creating excesses that get eaten and leached, right? Or run off into the groundwater and create other issues. Okay. And I'm not a crazy organic. I do like organic a lot, but like sometimes there is a time and place for chemical herbicides, I believe. Okay. Sometimes there's a place for expensive consultants for making a mistake, doing this, that, and the other thing. But if that becomes your pattern, if that is your pattern, reach out to us. Again, I'm Chad Kraus from Wartime CEO. Our goal is to empower you to understand these systems, to make these calls yourself, right? To know what you need, what the right amount of nutrients is, to know what a sustainable growth and yield rate is, right? To know what good culture and fun looks like, again, if you're getting burnt out. We have a newsletter that's a great place to start. Sign up for the newsletter. We'll be sharing some workshops coming up into 2026 and beyond. And I hope this was as cool to you as it is to me, because I love agriculture.